At this point, it would be very flawed logic to think that, Bitcoin will not hit 1 million, to doubt that it'll hit 1 million. So this will be a fairly quick video. Could Bitcoin hit $250,000 this cycle? I think that's a little bit low of a prediction. I will say that Bitcoin will be $250,000 in the future. It'll be $500,000 and it'll be $1 million in the future. I can't predict when, but I do want to, I've been in the game for long enough to, I was going through some YouTube videos from like 2 years ago. We were heavily yield farming. We were in DeFi. Bitcoin was actually less than $20,000. There was a point where it was $18,000. There are some videos where I'm like, yo, this cycle, 100K, easy. And we were talking about DeFi. We were talking about building your bank. We were talking about buying more Bitcoin with the yields. And if you go through the comments, there was always someone calling for some black swan event, calling Bitcoin's about to crash, calling for Bitcoin will never be 100K. It's had its heyday. And I don't care if Bitcoin was 18K, 25K, 50K, 80K. There's always a percentage of smart people who would be, calling me an idiot, probably calling you an idiot if you've been investing in this consistently. It's always fun to go back through old posts and see kind of what people were thinking. But there was a few comments when Bitcoin was around 30K on some videos saying it's never coming back. And I just think about all those people who missed on an opportunity to 3x, 4x, 5x in some alts, even more. Their wealth, their velocity of money, their net worth, like life-changing amounts of money. And I'm seeing the same thing now. Crypto hit an all-time high around 113. People are saying it's the absolute top. Now, I can't predict that, and there are many tools and many frameworks that we can look at for where could the price of Bitcoin go next. I'm just going to share one of them in today's video. If you want to see some others, do let me know in the comments. But again, just look at history. All I know is fiat is destined to doom. It's worth less every week, every day, every month. And there's more money printed every single day, and that money has to go somewhere. I know some people are like, well, what about Tether? I get it. There can be black swan events that slow crypto down for a short period of time, but there is only one way that Bitcoin can go. There's only one way. And we've proven this time and time again through so many black swan events. I really like looking at the rainbow price chart. And again, this is just one out of probably a dozen. So in the comments, if you want me to go over maybe 3 or 4 of my top charts, tools, and ultimately kind of lenses to see the price of Bitcoin. Now, again, I'm using Bitcoin in this example, but we all know everything follows Bitcoin. And this has played out so beautifully. Red being massive bubble, anything kind of in the red being like, yo, sell. Orange is like FOMO, yellow is a hold, and anything kind of green is, hey, accumulate, and anything down into the blue and purple is, hey, this stuff is like super cheap. I remember when it hit around 16, 17, 18, that's when like every dollar I had was going into this. And yes, with Bitcoin now being over 100K, it has funded so much of my life. Dream house, dream cars, 69 Chargers, Lamborghinis, just bought a Ducati yesterday, looking at a McLaren 720S in orange, Audi R8. And it's not about that stuff, but remember also how I view, finances. Any worked for income, this is money that I trade my time for. I don't spend it on stupid stuff like cars or houses. I invest that money, and then for my investment income, I buy stuff. I don't want to trade my time for material things. Material things will never make you happy. They do bring joy, especially when you love them. You can enjoy them and share them. And I love cars, but not enough to trade my time for it. I trade my time for money, then I invest that money, and the yields that money makes, I buy cool stuff. I create a farm with my finances, an empire with my finances that can help fund my lifestyle. So instead of buying, R8s and Ducatis and Lamborghinis here, I invested every dollar. And from the yields and appreciation of that, I 10x my net worth. Then I'm able to take a fraction of that and buy some cool stuff. So after every halving, you usually see this big boom into massive bubble territory, sell, lock in the profits. Then, of course, we've seen these cycles play out. We're back into, fire sale, super cheap. Of course, no one buys it because human beings are freaking predictable. Only a few of us courageous are buying yellow and below, in my opinion. Boom, next bubble after the halving, crashy crash. I remember this one really, really well, 9,000, 10,000, boom, after the halving, hit some all-time highs, there was this little correction, bam. This is when we went heavy with Cryptolabs, like trying to scream from the mountaintops of anything under yellow, buy. And if you can create yields from your DeFi portfolio, even better. And we've been kind of in that 20, 27, 84, I mean, didn't even really excite me. Retail wasn't really excited. And now we're kind of at this 103, 104 as of this exact moment. And according to at least this chart, still in the cheap. And I know some people are like, oh, the cycle is almost over. I'm like, we haven't really even started. Like, just so we're clear, we haven't, yes, crypto, Bitcoin could hit 80K, 70K, 60K tomorrow. Even in the middle of bull markets, there's been some massive correction, totally normal. And even through a conservative approach, I can't see us not hitting $250,000 this cycle. And so if that is true, then why aren't we optimizing for that? Like, absolutely take some profit along the way. We shared a video on our Bitcoin flywheel framework, and you're always kicking off some profits from your DeFi positions or your portfolio appreciation. But the party hasn't even started on a conservative level, $250,000. On maybe a more aggressive, 750, 800. And some of y'all might say, that's crazy. Talk to people back here. Price of Bitcoin was $14. And at the end of that cycle, $900, $1,000. No one predicted, no one thought that would be ever possible. And that pattern's repeated itself. Oh, crypto's dead, it'll never be anything. It just hangs out here. Bam, 16K, no one predicted that. 16K was insane. That is the top, it'll never happen again. Then we've got 50s. Now we've got hundreds. At this point, it would be very flawed logic to think that, Bitcoin will not hit 1 million, to doubt that it'll hit 1 million. I'll let you do with that what you will. Maybe a conversation starter in the comments. What are you thinking? How do you see things? If you disagree, also let me know. Let's have a conversation around it. But I know for those who are committed, they're doubling down. And they're hedging some of the risk by DeFi and creating yields. And then using that yields to keep building up their treasury. By the way, the longer you do that, the less risk you're taking. The risk-reward ratio actually starts working in your favor. The more asymmetric your bet gets. It's not just some kind of hodl bag to me. It is like the freedom bag. It has set me free. It is setting my family free. I'm looking for houses for my family. And if you treat this seriously, we call it treating it like a business, but I don't care what you call it. If you just treat it seriously, with respect, you study it, this shit can change your life. Full stop, guaranteed, I know it. And that's not just theory. I've seen it for myself and seen it for so many others. Ultimately, that choice is yours. And just cut out the noise. There's so much crap on Twitter. Almost every other freaking YouTube channel just throws crap. Whatever they can do, some fear-mongering headlines. It's all like trading, short-term thinking, sell this, buy this, sell everything, buy everything. I'm like, investors don't do that, just so you're clear. Anywho, spiel over. If you do enjoy content like this, make sure you subscribe to this channel, like this video at Lucas Rubix on Instagram. If you have a question for me, ask it in the comments of YouTube or shoot me a DM on Instagram. Happy to jam with you. A lot of content is created from questions you ask. So do let me know if we can serve you in any way. With that said, I'm going to let you go. At the very least, just subscribe to this YouTube channel. Helps us out more than you know. And with that said, we'll see you in the next video. Peace.